Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a brow tutorial. Lately I've been trying to cut out a little bit more of how I do my brows in my videos because it's always the same way and it's very repetitive and it's a clip that I could really just take out. So I wanted to make this video just so that you could still know how I do my brows even though I won't be doing them in every tutorial. So before I begin, I wanted to explain to you guys how I groom my brows. When I was younger, I used to go to the nail salon to get them waxed, but I stopped doing that because, as you can tell, my brows aren't done. As you can tell in this one, it's a little bit thinner than this one, and the reason that is because I used to do the really thin brows and, well, the hair didn't grow back. My mom always warned me of that. I didn't listen. Sorry, Mom, I should have listened because now I have uneven brows. But hopefully you guys will remember this and never over tweeze or over wax your brows. So how I do them now, that scarred me so much that for years and years, I would just use my own tweezers and I would take care of them myself. But I wouldn't get that really clean, like fresh look. Like there was always little hairs and that really bugged me. So I did go before my wedding to get them waxed again and it was beautiful. They came out lovely. The woman really knew what she was doing, but it was like $20 to get them waxed. If this is something that I have to do once a month, I don't know, I just felt like that was a little pricey to do all the time. I know I probably spend more than that on other things, but still I like to have a bargain where I can. So I went to Ulta and I picked up Nad's Facial Wand Eyebrow Shaper. And I talked about this in my 4-month favorite video and I still love it. This is still how I've been grooming my brows. Basically what it is a wand with wax, a few strips, and some wipes. And it's an at-home waxing kit. I'm very skeptical of these, but I have to say I really love this one. The wax is room temp. It's not hot. You don't have to heat it in the microwave. So I think it's super effective. Also, this was about $8 or so at Ulta, whereas, and I've already used it like 4 times and I still have some strips left. So I feel like I'm definitely getting more bang for my buck doing this than going to the salon. So just to mention the brow products that I do have, I have them from a few different brands. To start, I have the Anastasia Brow Definer in dark brown. I love this one, but I feel the same way about all pencils. I just feel like it's a lot of cleanup. So I really like them. They are quicker in the sense that you just have to draw it on, but I feel like at the same time you take almost the same amount of time because you have to clean it up afterwards. I feel like you just don't get a really straight line. I use the Arcade by Kiss Go Brow in dark brown as well, and I have to say that it's very similar to the Brow Definer in the sense that it's like a triangle. So, and this one I got at a beauty supply store for like $8. I have the NYX Micro Brow in Espresso, which I really love. I feel personally that it's a dupe for the Anastasia Brow Wiz. Some people, you know, have a different opinion. They say it's different. I personally feel like they're the same. So as usual, I want you guys to make your own opinions. This one is just mine. I have the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo in dark brown. Powders are probably one of my favorite just because you have to apply it with a brush, so you get a very sharp, crisp line. And like I mentioned earlier with the pencil, it's not as much cleanup. So I really love this one. I have this little MAC custom palette with 2 shades. I don't remember what they are right now. I think it's Corduroy and I only did this for y'all. Corduroy and Embark are the shades. I really love them. I love doing my brows with these because this came out to about the same price as this, but it's double amount of product. The only thing I will say is that the shades are a little more red, the other shades are a little more ash tone, so it just depends like what I'm in the mood for, I guess. but you totally can use matte shadows to do your eyebrows. It works pretty much the same. If you are gonna do your brows with a powder, you have to put a wax down first for it to stick. You don't have to, but that means that if you touch your brows, it can come off very easily. So I have the Essence Eyebrow Fixing Pencil, and I have the NYX Brow Definer, which you can tell I've used a lot. And both of these are super affordable. I got them both at Ulta and they both work great. I have the NYX Eyebrow Gel Waterproof in Espresso. This was a very different type of brow products for me. Basically what I do is I put a piece of tape down on my hand, and then I put like a pea-sized amount, probably less, you don't even need that much amount on my hand, and then I go in with the brush and then I take off the tape, and that's it. I really do like using this product. I would say the only reason I don't use it as often is because I put a tape down. You don't have to, but I don't like being left with a little brown spot, but you could use anything. The last one I have, which is what I'm going to use today, is the Anastasia Dipbrow in Chocolate. Mine is a little creamier right now because mine had actually dried out because I wasn't using it for so long because I got so into powder. But whenever yours dries out, and this counts for the pomade and for gel liners, all you have to do is put 1 to 2 drops of any beauty oil. I usually use my Tarte Maracuja oil, and mix it all together, and it hydrates it again and makes it totally creamy and completely reusable. You don't want to do too many drops because that will really thin it out, and you'll have to do a lot of layers to get the color payoff that you really want. For brow gels, I have 3. I have the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, which this stuff is like super glue. I'm sure you've heard it mentioned. Really, if you wear this, your brows will not go anywhere. I usually use it on days that I'm going to be wearing that makeup for a long period of time, so I really need my brows to stick. The next one is the MAC Pro Longwear Waterproof Brow Set. I like this one because it has the dark tint and the really small brush. The last one I have is from Essence. It's the Make Me Brow and Blondy Brows. This has been the one I've been using recently. It reminds me a lot of the Benefit Gimme Brows. I think that's what it's called. It has a very small brush and it's a tinted brow gel again. I have this one in blonde because I'm lightening my hair at the moment. Although it looks like dark on the camera, it's a lot lighter in person. So I just do this so that my brows don't turn out looking so bold and such a contrast. The other one that I use that I don't have right now because I ran out is the Essence Clear Brow Gel. That one, again, is clear like the Anastasia one, but it's not as super glue. So I use it when I'm wearing makeup, but I'm probably only going to wear it for a few hours. I'll wear that one. It's also the one that I use on my clients because I think it feels better on people that are not used to using clear brow gel. I feel like if I throw on some Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, they're going to go like this and feel how hard their brows are and freak out. And then they're going to feel like when they take it off, their brow hairs are going to come out, which is not true. But to not freak them out, I prefer using a little bit softer one, which is the Essence one. To talk about brow tools, I have 2 brushes. I have the Anastasia No. 7 brush, which is a natural hair angled brush with a spoolie on the ends. Both of these have spoolies. And this one is I use it for powders. In comparison to this one, it's a lot thinner of a brush. It's like a layer thinner, so it's much more precise. The other one I have is the NYX No. 18 brush. It's, again, very similar to the other brush. It's just a teeny bit thicker, and this is the one that I use for the pomade. The next thing I wanted to mention was a concealer. Now, this is an optional product. Not everybody needs to use this, but like I was mentioning earlier, I like to clean up my brows. And the one that I use is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer in NW25. It is just a little bit lighter than my skin tone. I know in the camera it looks a lot lighter, but in person it's just a little bit lighter. So I use this, and this brush to clean up my brows. Now you could use any angled brush. I have several that I tend to use, but my favorite has to be this Artist Loft number 4 Angular Shader. Now this brush I actually got from Michaels. It's not a makeup brush, but it's so flat and so smooth and like the perfect size that it makes blending out the concealer really easy. So these two again are optional, but for me personally I see it as a must. Not only do I use this to clean up, but I will also use it to act as like a highlight as well. So even if I'm not using a shadow to highlight, I will use some concealer. Now to use the Dipbrow, there's a very specific way, and the reason that I know that is because when I used to work at Macy's, some of the trainers came from Anastasia, Beverly Hills when we first started getting their products and described to us the most efficient and best way to use the pomade. And basically what you do is with your brush, you would pick up just a little bit of product. As you can see, this is a super tiny amount. And this might even be too much. And the next thing you would do is smear it inside the cap. And you would go like that with your brush to make sure it's very sharp and only pick up a tiny amount of product. So as you can see, a bunch of that product is still there, and honestly, I might have even picked up too much. This product is so pigmented and you use so little of it that this really is too much. And just so you know, I've had this Dipbrow for way over a year now, and I've been using it pretty frequently in the past couple of months, and it's like barely halfway down. So to get started, I have my product on my lid. I'm gonna use this NYX number 18 brush, and I'm just gonna swipe it on both sides, just picking up a little bit of product. And the first thing I'm gonna do is fill in the outer corner. Now what I'm trying to achieve here isn't a stamped on brow appearance. I want it to have the ombre effect. I want it to be lightest in the inner corner and darkest in the outer corner, so as much as people can tell that you have your brows done, it's still a very natural appearance. If the inner corner is very dark, it can make you look like you're angry, and it can make you look like you have a bad personality. Like, it makes you kind of have the appearance that you're going like this. So you want to keep this area pretty light. So I have the products on my brush, and I'm gonna go in first underneath my brows. After I do that, I'm gonna go over my brows. A little tip, if you have a lot of brow hair, is you can brush the hairs down so it makes it easier to draw over. So now we have the tail filled in. If there's any little open spots, just feel free to fill them in. The next thing I'm gonna do is the inner corner. Now, I'm not even gonna pick up any more product on my brush. I'm just gonna use whatever's left over, just that little bit, and I'm gonna use it to fill in the inner corner. After I've done that, now I usually like to buy a brush that has a spoolie on the end because it makes it a lot easier. Now you can always just buy a spoolie separately, or you can buy an actual brow brush that has the comb on the other side, and they all pretty much work pretty good. But I prefer these brushes that have both, just so that I'm only dirtying one tool and I don't have to reach for so many different ones. So I'm going to use this just to make sure this area is blended. That's also a good tool to use if you've been a little heavy-handed on the inner corner. You can use the spoolie. If you use it a little bit rougher, but not too rough to rip out the hairs, to thin out the product even more. Now after doing that, I'm going to go in with my concealer. So I'm going to pick it up on my Artist Loft brush, and in this case, I will go over, under and over the brow, but most of the time I just clean up underneath the brows. I really only do the top if it's absolutely necessary because I went out of the line, or if I'm doing a very glam look and I want to have a very sharp edge. So I'm going to place the concealer first, and then I'm going to kind of use like the side of the brush to blend it out. And then I'm going to pick up less product than I did for underneath the brow, and I'm going to do the top of the brow. When I do the top of the brow, I don't like to start all the way in the inner corner, just because I feel like that's a very precise brow. I feel like if you do that, it's because it's gonna be a very glam look, but if it's for an everyday look, it can make it look stamped on. And again, like I said earlier, we want this to look pretty natural. So instead of starting over here in the inner corner, I'm actually gonna start over here where my brow arches. I'm gonna go over that arch and down the side of the tail. And again, I'm going to use the side of the brush to blend it out. Now you can use the side of the brush, or you can also just use your finger. The last step is brow gel, and the one I'm going to be using is the Essence Make Me Brow in Blondy Brows. So I'm going to wipe off any excess that's on the tip. I'm just going to lightly go over my brows. And what that's going to do is it's going to keep the brows in place throughout the day. Also, tinted brow gels, even clear brow gels, are something that you can use every day without filling in your brows. If you have naturally full brows or you're used to very natural makeup, instead of filling in your brows, you can just use a tinted brow gel just to give a little extra color, and it'll still hold the brows in place and look fabulous. And here you can see the difference that brows make. Alright guys, so I filled in the other brow, so now they match. So I really hope that you guys learned something from this. A few other tips and tricks I might give you, or reminders, is when you are cleaning up with concealer around your brows, please make sure that it is blended. And please make sure that it is not too light that you can see the halo around your brows from the concealer between your foundation and concealer. Too many times I have seen this, and it is a crime. Please make sure you don't commit this crime. But other than that, alright, I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned some tricks and tips to do on your own. If you guys have any other questions, or you want me to explain anything in a little more detail, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Alright guys, bye!